Hello there. Welcome back to the basement. This video, I'm going to be talking about episode 7 of She-Hulk. And, giving a quick review. I can't say breakdown because I have not yet gotten my personal technological know-how to the point where I can make the cool videos yet. But they're coming. Um, but anywho, like just cover more of a review. And I'm going to actually be describing details of the show. So if for some unknown reason you have not watched it yet, then, disengage now because spoilers. So, the show starts off with actually this kind of fun little montage of Jen, just as, Jen Walters, not She Hulk, going on dates with that Josh guy she met at her friend's wedding in the last episode. Um, so, it was a fun little sequence, showing Jen's natural awkwardness and, at least some of his purported awkwardness. And then they eventually reach the point where, the sealing of the deal happens. Although, they obviously don't go into it that much other than, her letting him in the front door. Um, they then the next scene is her waking up, rolling over, and finding herself alone. Um, she then sends him a text. Last night was fun. I'm still smiling, or something to that effect. And then nothing. And then they proceed to. She proceeds to do what any person who's been shown to be that anxious and somewhat insecure would do, and that is text and 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 text. Amok, amok, amok. Yeah, that's a whole other thing. Anyway, and of course she gets zero response. Um, After a couple short scenes of her and her friend talking and whatnot, and her showing her frustration, um, the Abomination's parole officer calls, wants her to come up to the retreat with him because Mr. Blonsky's inhibitor chip is malfunctioning, and he wants the She-Hulk along just in case it's not just simple malfunction, but Emil is doing naughty things like turning into Abomination. So she ends up at Emil Blonsky's retreat, and hi, buddy. She ends up at Emil Blonsky's retreat. Not right now. She ends up at Emil Blonsky's retreat, and they verify that it's just a simple malfunction. And as she's ready to leave, bam! These two powered beings come rolling in, fighting, and trash her car. Now I can't remember the one guy's name, but he hates being called the Matador. And then there was Man Bull or something like that. They were kind of cheesy, at least for me. So her car gets wrecked. There's no service out there. The parole guy says he'll arrange for a tow truck for her, but it's going to end up either him or Emil Blesky. Anyway, a tow truck gets called, but it's going to be a couple hours or a few hours before he gets out there. So Jen is now stuck at this retreat and going batshit crazy because she has no signal and is worried about Josh. Um, Certain things happen. She ends up in group while looking for phone signal. They have the usual trope scene where they finally get her to sit down and open up, blah, 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 blah. The group ends up supporting her. She ends up deleting Josh's number because they came to the conclusion he was ghosted. And, you know, her time at the retreat ends up being at least somewhat beneficial for, her self confidence and self esteem, which is good. Because let's face it, so far she's been written as not that confident as Jen Walters and whatnot. So, um, she leaves that to the end, and then they go ahead and cut away, and then they come back, and flashback a couple days and 3 days actually, and they show Josh doing what I thought he would have been end up doing, because my first thought when I saw him at the wedding was plant, And it turns out I was right. Whether I said it out loud or not on my video of episode 6, I'm not sure. If I didn't, I was thinking it, I promise. So, and it turns out I was right. He hacks her phone, downloads some information, and then somehow gets a sample of her fluid. I can't remember how, because I thought I would. My apologies. But and ends up texting somebody that, he's got the sample, and then he disappears on her. So, for me, that episode was, I'm just going to say mid. I mean, it was, if it was a sandwich, it would have fantastic bread, i.e., the montage of her dating Josh at the beginning and Josh showing his true colors at the end. But the middle part with going up to the retreat and the cheesy bunch of powered beings up there, and it was just okay. It was mid at best. So you got your good bread on the outside, and then you got bologna out of a package that's like 2 days past the date, but it doesn't smell bad, so you go ahead and choke it down. That kind of thing. So, yeah. But anyway, so that's my opinion, description, and opinion on She-Hulk episode 7. I'm sure many are wondering, while I'm thinking of these things, where Daredevil be at, because we all saw him in the preview, and then we all saw his hat in that superhero costume shop guy's place, but we haven't seen him yet. My thoughts, and I had a thought initially that we probably wouldn't see him until, at this point, maybe end of episode 8 or very beginning of episode 9. And I say that because at the time, and I went back and rewatched the final preview of the show for confirmation, when he comes flying in and does his super badass somersault and comes up looking all daredevil-y, she was in her superhero suit, the red and white, or the red, Jesus, the black and white and purple thing that she got from the dude. So, since she has yet to put that on, and for me, the only reason I think she would ever put that on is because the leader or whoever it is, we're still not sure, the intelligentsia decides to actually full on come after her. So at that point, yeah, she'll have to get down to action, and that's probably when Daredevil will pop in too. This is just a guess. I'm not good at this, but I'm going to go ahead and say that he's got his own reasons to be coming after the intelligentsia, and thus their paths will cross. But like I said, that's probably going to be literally how the next episode, episode 8, ends. And then, obviously episode 9 is the season finale, so it damn well better slap at least a little. So yeah, and I think, probably at least the latter half of next episode should be fun, for the reasons I've already gone over. So anyway, that's She-Hulk episode 7 and my thoughts and opinions on it. I would love to see your thoughts and opinions down below in the comments. Also, there's those two little buttons. One says like, the other one says subscribe. Go ahead and tap on them both. It won't hurt you any. And like I always say, there's always good times to be had when you're chilling in the basement.